All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It is the 9th of April, and the crazy action continues. We got the IWM down 2%, the Dow Jones futures down 2, S&P futures down 1.5, QQQ futures down 1.2, Bitcoin down a third, and gold is up 2 point. And I don't think I've seen the market like this, guys, since COVID. Which means if you started trading anytime after 2020, you've probably never seen anything like this kind of action. If we look at the QQQ from yesterday, for example, we're getting months worth of price action in 60-minute swings. So from Monday's low of 403, QQQ rallies into yesterday's high up into 440. All right, that's about a 10% turnaround. And then from yesterday's high down to yesterday's low, that is about a 7.5% turnaround. All right, S&Ps, same exact thing. From the Monday bottom into yesterday's high, that is a 8.5% rally. And then from yesterday's high to yesterday's low, that is just about a 6.5% pullback. To put it into context, if we think of a normal, we can think back to Q4 of last year, and if we go and look at that weekly squeeze we had, and a really good uptrend, big weekly squeeze, big push, percentage-wise, that was only about an 11% rally. And again, in a normal trendy market, it's a really big time move. In the current market, we're getting these 5-10% turnarounds pretty much every day. Not the easiest thing to trade, but one thing I think is really important. You want to put your trust in your signals. When we're as beaten down as we are, when we are as oversold as we are, you're gonna wake up a few times to really big pops. And I think yesterday is a good example. You got QQQ up about 4.5% at the highs. Nvidia was up I think Nvidia was up almost 8%. Broadcom up 9.5. Apple up 4.5. Did the pop change anything though, from a structure and a signals perspective? So again, QQQ goes from 402 into 440. 10% rally off the bottom. We never even got a 15-minute buy signal. All right, that'd be a green candle in a green arrow. Better yet, we haven't had a 15-minute buy signal since, let me see, the 24th of March. All right, so we from 492 all the way down to 408. Never once got a 15-minute buy. And think about it. We're not asking for daily buy signals. Not asking for 1 hour, even 30-minute buy signals. Can we get a 15? Getting a 15 won't even save the market. You got a daily sell signal, a 4 hour, a 2 hour. But point being, guys, we're going to wake up in the morning to a big pop. The pop will eventually change a few things. It'll bring you 5-minute buy signals. It'll bring you 15-minute. That kind of pop, I think you jump in and buy. Maybe call for higher. When they get a big pop and nothing changes, the best they can do is just a 5-minute buy signal. You can jump in and day trade that, but be very careful about getting swing long. All right, so QQQ never gets a 15-minute buy. What about the spiders? Give me 1 minute here, guys. I'm getting an echo. There we go. Okay, S&Ps. Did we ever get a 15-minute buy? Never got one. What about? All right, so no green candle for Amazon on Netflix. Never got one for Microsoft or Meta or Google, even Nvidia. Right, that is a that's a 22% rally off the bottom in what? In a 2-day period, 20% rally off the bottom. They can't even turn the 15-minute chart bullish. That move will feel bullish. It'll look bullish. It'll smell bullish. You got to put your faith in your signals. So they pump it. They pump it. They pump it. Then Nvidia finally pulls back. It's not pulling back into a bullish structure. You don't have buy signals. You don't have momentum above zero. You don't have a buy trigger. So they push it, push it, push it on that first pullback, where you might want to come in and think about buying that dip. Everything just totally drops the ball. They take out their 21 EMA, they take out the 50, momentum back below zero. If they can pop it, pull it back, and you actually have a buy signal, then you can maybe jump in and buy that. So just, I think you want to keep that day trade focus. There's going to be that temptation. Again, a day just like yesterday. Wake up, the S&Ps are green, QQQ is green, Apple's up 4.5, Nvidia's up 8, Tesla's up 7. You're going to have that temptation to want to jump in and buy every call. I don't think we're at that point just yet. Another point of view could be, what about an hourly 21 EMA? I'm kind of thinking if they can get the S&Ps and QQQ back above their hourly 21, then they can maybe try to stabilize the market. Then they're working on a path higher. All right, so QQQ hourly. A really big gap up, but for one, you never got a 15-minute buy trigger. And then two, they can't even hold the hourly 21. All right, big pop. Here's the bottom. Here comes the bulls, and then maybe not so fast. S&P hourly 21 EMA. They pop it above it at the open. Can never even get a 15-minute buy signal. They can't hold that 21 EMA. Right back down towards the lows. So be patient, guys. Be nimble. I think it's a great day trade market. But one thing to keep in mind about the day trade market, you could look at a 1 minute on the S&P futures, and these ranges can be a little bit deceiving. Might not look like much, but let me see. Let me grab a 1 minute. Given the spastic action, the ranges are a lot bigger than they might appear. So for example, S&Ps on the 1 minute from the bottom to the current price, it's a 1% pop. Think about a normal market. Ps might go up 1% in 3, 4, 5 days, and you chalk it up to a good week. This is a 1 minute time frame turnaround, and you're popping about 1% in 20, 25 minutes. So yeah, I think it's a great day trading market, but I don't think you wake up, you get short, you go to the gym, then come back thinking you're going to take off your profit. If you're going to day trade it, be very active. This is 4,900 into just about 4,980 in the blink of an eye. Now they can take that in just as fast. We can be back down to 4,890. So be nimble, be quick, and yeah, my best piece of advice is just avoid the swing trades. And hey, if you are going to get swing short, or if you are going to swing trade, I think you're getting swing short for now. That might not also be the easiest game. But that's what I got for y'all on the futures here. And then for any of these Big Ten names, where are they going to open? Nvidia into 98 and change. A little Paparoo. All right, so same question this morning. If we do gap up a little bit, does that gap up bring any buy signals? Look at a 1 minute, look at a 2 minute time frame, then the 5 minute, then the 15. They can pop it up 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15%. If we're not getting buy signals, I can't buy it. Not for more than a day. So a little pop here for the Nvidia. Let's see. Tesla's going to open around 223. That's not too much happening there. Apple, the maker known as Apple. That'll open flat. You got Netflix open around 869. That'll open flat. Microsoft 353. Google 144. No major shakers and movers here in the pre-market. All right, but moving on from all of that, if we check out the squeeze watch list here, couple things I think you want to keep an eye on today. And, not just for a trade opportunity, but also as a gauge of direction. We wake up and there's a bunch of 15-minute, 30-minute hourly squeezes. They can serve as a great compass. We are 15, 45 minutes into the session, and the 5-minute squeezes break short, 15-minute break short, hourly break short. It's a pretty good heads up. You might want to jump in and get short. So for the cash markets, we're going to open up with a 1 hour squeeze on the QQQ, the IWM, the S&Ps, the RSP, and the Big 10 basket. All right, that can make for a good compass. Let's see, QQQ hourly. Yeah, keep an eye on that here at the open. They break it, that should take QQQ back down towards 400. And then that'll most likely be a bounce or a die kind of spot. Hourly IWM. They're gapping that bad boy down about $2 or $3. So that one breaks short, and then the Big 10 basket looking like that might want to slingshot short as well. So a couple hourly squeezes for the futures, the cash markets rather, and then 1 hour on Amazon, 1 hour on Netflix, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Nvidia, TSM, and the Tesla. Make that your focus. Watch your 1 hour time frames, then watch your 5-minute, 15-minute signals. All right, so for example, if I take the Tesla hourly squeeze, which by itself looks like a great short, squeeze, -15, bear structure, all the above, I'm going to anchor to that 1 hour time frame. Then for my trigger to short it, I'm going to watch a 5-minute, 15. What I wouldn't want to do is jump in and get short on the hourly while my 5-minute, 15-minute don't have a sell signal. Need my lower time frames to confirm that move. So that'll be the game plan here at the open, guys. Just day trading, lower time frame squeeze focus. We are short a little Bitcoin here into the open. And we have a whopping $12.50 per contract to show for it. But we shall remain short, looking for a short on the indexes or looking for a long. It's a matter of the signals and whatever they want to give us. And then one more thing I want to take a quick peek at would be the volatility index. You might have heard of this one. Okay, so on the flip side, the QQQ, the S&Ps, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla, they never even got a 15-minute buy trigger. For the market to find a bottom, to get that big multi-day rally, we got to get the VIX coming off the highs. So my first heads up, all right, VIX might be wanting to pull back, would be a bunch of sell signals on the VIX. Buy signals on indexes and sell signals on VIX. VIX here into the open. We got buy signal across every time frame. Weekly chart all the way down to the 5-minute. And then for yesterday's action, right, S&P's gap up, QQQ gap up. Right, what about the VIX? We never got a 15-minute sell signal. So I'm going to anchor to that as my first confirmation. There might be a decent turn trying to shape up. S&Ps go bullish on the 15, QQQ bullish on the 15, a couple of those Big 10 names, Apple, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. And then can the volatility index do the opposite? Coming off the highs, 5-minute sell, 15-minute sell, 30-minute sell. Don't forget, to get back to a peachy market, wake up, buy a call, go to the beach, come back home, take your paycheck. To get back to that kind of market, we got to get VIX back below the daily 21. Talking, 30, 25, all the way down to me. Yet you're not going to get that 30% pullback if they can't get some sell signals going. All right, so make that a good rule for yourself. If you got the indicators, all right, the recipe to look for a long 15-minute buy signals on indexes and Big 10 names, and then 2 15-minute sell signals on the nasty VIX. Now, those two things come together. I'm still not convinced you get swing long. Day trade it, scalp it. If you are going to hold those calls overnight, it's a position sizing thing. I think we're in a market where I'm not going to be surprised if tomorrow morning we are up 4%. But I also wouldn't be too surprised if we're down 4%. So any kind of risk you hold overnight, keep it nice and tight. But all right, y'all. Any questions for me? Anything you want to take a look at? Drop it in the chat. One thing I'm really dying to short. The more I want to short it, the more they keep on taking it down away from me. Crude oil on the monthly chart. Now, had I thought of it about 2, 3, 4 days ago, we would be sitting pretty here. But check out the monthly chart for crude oil. And you could play this through shorts on USO, MRO, things of that nature. But off the monthly, you got this big monthly squeeze. Big monthly squeeze, actually. That started back on December of 2022. All right, so big weekly squeeze, and now you're getting that momentum break. Or you're getting that structure break, rather. May under the 50, price under 50, price under the 21, price under the 200. Fresh monthly sell signal. I think any pop under $70 makes for a good short. Down to 50, maybe even down to about 40. So I would love to short that. You could look at in MRO. Although that does look a little bit more bullish. Let me see, USO. Oxy. Yeah, Oxy's already going for it. So a few things we'll keep an eye on here in the background. Major focus for now, S&Ps and the Q-tips. All right, good morning, Terry. Good morning, Hamza. Good morning, Ping. Hamza watching some Netflix here. Hamza, going back a couple of weeks ago, Netflix was trying to hold up really well. And it did for a few days. Much better than the indexes, much better than its peers, NVIDIA, Google, Apple. And every now and then, you'll see a few stocks trying to fight that good fight. They can only fight it for so long in the face of a weak market. So NVIDIA was above the 50, above the 21. There was actually a really nice trade back here. I missed it. But I think there was a 15-minute squeeze back here. Took you right towards that $1,000. But now you're getting a bit more caught up in the crossfire, right? Under the 50, under the 21. You have a -5 on the scoreboard. To be fair, it does look better than most things out there. And let me grab my spreadsheet. Yeah, so to be fair, compared to everything else on board, it has a decent score. So last night, Netflix has a -51 out of 120, which obviously is not great. If we happen to be in a good market, we wouldn't even look at a -51. But compared to the indexes, -83, -85, -110, compared to every sector except gold, -70, -100, and then compared to a Big Ten name, yeah, Netflix it's definitely a bit of a standout. Now, what that could imply is get some 15-minute buy signals on the indexes, get some 15-minute sell signals on the futures. Netflix might be one of your names. Better structure behind it, less sell signals behind it. But what I don't think Netflix can do is make that move by itself and buck the trend. Sell signals in VIX, buy signals in QQQ. Then we look over to Netflix, see if that can be a spot of relative strength. And in a sense, it kind of is. Not knock off your socks relative strength. If Netflix had a positive 90 or a positive 100, all right, that's a different story. But compared to most things, it does have a better score. For that, we can at least respect it. All right, let me check these futures here, guys. S&P's back into 5,000. So not to be a broken record, but the idea of you open a trade, you walk away from the charts, everything goes peachy. I don't think it's going to work in this market. Right? This is we're talking the last 30, 35 minutes. A 2% rally off the bottom. If the S&Ps go up 2% over the course of a month in a normal market, we chalk it up to a good move. You're getting that between coffee breaks right now. Now I got to look at it and think, all right, here's a pop. It can be exciting. It can look bullish. Where's my buy signals? There we go. I don't have a 5 minute. I don't have a 15. I don't have a 30. I don't have a 1 hour. I don't have a 2 hour. Can't jump in and chase that pop. Now, maybe they keep on pushing it, and then on the pullback, then I've got a 5 minute buy trigger. Then I've got a 15. All right, then I can jump in, maybe get long. Now, for us to get a 15 minute buy signal today, we can't get a buy signal below the 200 SMA, which implies what? To even have a chance of getting a 15 minute buy, S&P future jump another. It's like, here's the craziest thing: they might, but they got to pump another 2% from here. If they can work through 5,100, we might get a 15-minute buy. It's a crazy market, guys. When structure is so beat down, they can't fix the problems on little pops. And we got a big one yesterday morning, didn't fix really anything. Tricky stuff there. Yeah, Lauren, I'm thinking it's got to be some kind of news blip. You have the reaction to the news blip and then the reaction to the reaction. None of it dull, guys. None of it dull. All right, I think we're good on the Q&A here. Let me check one more time. Hey, what's up, AG? Yeah, exactly. You wander away from the charts, you go make a cup of tea, and then 100-point turnaround for you. Give yourself some credit, guys and gals. If you're a newer trader, or I mean, here's the thing: you can have a year of experience or 10, 15 years. I think about my 10 or so years of experience, and how often during those 10 years am I working with and trading a market like this? I mean, less than 1% of the time, probably. It's just pretty nutty stuff. So there's such things as a easy market, and I hate to use the word easy in trading, but we'll call it easier. That's going to be your October, November, December market of last year. Everything's bullish, really good uptrend, bunch of buy signals, really good looking scores in the spreadsheet, and then they're giving you, gems like this: QQQ weekly squeeze, Netflix weekly squeeze, Apple weekly squeeze. I think we all love these kinds of markets. You buy a call end of October, you hold on tight, and you double, triple your money 4, 5, 6 weeks down the road. All right. Not too much drama, not too much volatility, no crazy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% intraday swings. I would call that an easier market. The current market, it's a complete spaz. Bearish at 9:30, bullish at 10 o'clock, bearish at 10:05, bullish at 10:06. So even if you're experienced or unexperienced, give yourself credit for showing up, putting in the work, keeping your risk in check, doing all the things you got to do in this kind of market. And before I wrap it up here, I think you have two ways you can view it. You can look at it and say, damn, I hate this market. This market sucks. It's not easy. We're getting whiplash, blah, blah, blah. And I feel you. I have the same thoughts. We want to look at it and think the opposite, though. This is a really, really great opportunity to get better as traders. Get better with faster time frames, get better day trading, get better with keeping your risk in check, taking profits quicker. If you can keep your head above water in a market like this, where every 10, 15 minutes it changes its personality, imagine guys who get back to a Q4 of last year kind of market. It's going to feel like a walk in the park. When we get back to a market like that, Yeah. If one of y'all finds out, let me know because I'm not too sure. But all right, my friends, as always, I appreciate your time here at the Open. Um, Let me see. 1 hour on the futures here. God, that is such a spaz. All right, well, buckle up. Shall not be a dull one. Any questions, hit me up here in the room. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all the above. And then, folks in my room, I'm going to go heat up my coffee, and I'll catch you on the mic in about 5 or 10 minutes. Adios, y'all. Go get them.